The Book of the Damned, by Charles Hoyfort, Chapter 5K, Annual Register, 1832, page 447. That, March 1832, there fell, in the fields of Krianov, Russia, a combustible yellowish substance, covering, at least 2 inches thick, an area of 600 or 700 square feet. It was resinous and yellowish, so one inclines to the conventional explanation that it was pollen from pine trees, but, when torn, it had the tenacity of cotton. When placed in water, it had the consistency of resin. This resin had the color of amber, was elastic, like India rubber, and smelled like prepared oil mixed with wax. So in general our notion of cargoes, and our notion of cargoes of food supplies. In Philosophical Transactions, Volume 19, page 224, is an extract from a letter by Mr. Robert Vance, of Kilkenny, Ireland, dated November 15, 1695. That there had been of late, in the counties of Limerick and Tipperary, showers of a sort of matter like butter or grease having a very stinking smell. There follows an extract from a letter by the Bishop of Cloyne upon a very odd phenomenon, which was observed in Munster and Leinster, that for a good part of the spring of 1695 there fell a substance which the country people call butter, soft, clammy, and of a dark yellow, that cattle fed indifferently in fields where this substance lay. It fell in lumps as big as the end of one's finger. It had a strong ill scent. His Grace calls it a stinking dew. In Mr. Van's letter, it is said that the butter was supposed to have medicinal properties, and was gathered in pots and other vessels by some of the inhabitants of this place. And, in all the following volumes of Philosophical Transactions there is no speculation upon this extraordinary subject. Ostracism. The fate of this datum is a good instance of damnation, not by denial, and not by explaining away, but by simple disregard. The fall is listed by Cludney, and is mentioned in other catalogues, but, from the absence of all inquiry, and of all but formal mention, we see that it has been under excommunication as much as was ever anything by the preceding system. The datum has been buried alive. It is as irreconcilable with the modern system of dogmas as ever were geologic strata and vermiform appendix with the preceding system. If, intermittently, or for a good part of the spring, this substance fell into Irish provinces, and nowhere else, we have, stronger than before, a sense of a stationary region overhead, or a region that receives products like this Earth's products, but from external sources, a region in which this Earth's gravitational and meteorological forces are relatively inert. If for many weeks a good part of this substance did hover before finally falling, we suppose that, in 1685, Mr. Vance and the Bishop of Cloyne could describe what they saw as well as could witnesses in 1885. Nevertheless, it is going far back. We shall have to have many modern instances before we can accept